Welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show. Today we have a very special report because we're constantly looking in our level 10 universe of optimum performance, optimum solutions, unusual, innovative ideas, particularly coming from a kingdom perspective. I believe God will give his people superior ideas and insights because it's how he glorifies himself. And I got my superior team with me today. Mother Superior over here, Mercedes Sparks. She's the superior co-host. Got my son Carl over here, who's doing his fact checking and contributing his perspective. But we brought once again out of the laboratory and somewhere in the farmlands of Summertown, Tennessee, the Edison that I go to for every new innovation and creation in the area of superfood nutritional breakthrough, none other than our favorite Dr. Jordan Rubin. Thank you, Jordan, for joining us again. I don't know how you do it. I don't know where you find the time, but I envision you, because I've been to your farm and I know how you work and I've seen your projects in perpetuity, multiple light bulbs you're working on, and you've come up with something else. And it's always amazing how you do this. And this is what I'm interested in, because it's the one product that actually I didn't connect with yet in all of your inventory. I watch these commercials where the guy comes on and goes, "You'd have to eat this much fruit and this much vegetables to get what's in." And they show a little bottle. And I always say to myself, that's a compelling argument, because I don't want to eat that much fruit and that much vegetables to be able to get what I need. And I'm thinking of you. I wonder if Jordan has something, but I haven't run into that yet. And today, lo and behold, we might have that moment. Explain to me what you've got.
Well, Lance, first of all, let's identify the problem before we present the solution. So I was writing one of my books and I read this startling statistic. 9% of Americans consume the recommended 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. So that's 1 out of 10. And in the calculation of vegetables and fruits, French fries and ketchup were included. So what the real news is, 9% of Americans consume the recommended amount of French fries and ketchup every single day. And in all seriousness, I don't believe this surprises anyone, because remember, they're counting all Americans. So think of teenagers and what their diet consists of. Think of school lunches. Think about underprivileged children and adults, where it is literally cheaper to eat fast food because of farm subsidies and poor governmental programs. That's for another show, and I'm sure you've already covered that in another show. So that's one issue. The second issue is this. Even those that do consume the 5+ servings of fruits and vegetables, they lack diversity. And diversity in fruits and vegetables, in colors, in nutrients, is absolutely critical. So we have been, over the course of the last 4 years, cultivating over 150 species of what we would call superfoods on our regenerative organic certified farms. And we, for the first time, have introduced what we call organic superfruits, organic super veggies. It's a combo pack of nearly 40 regenerative organic certified fruits and vegetables. Some you've heard of, some you have not, with the full color of the rainbow. Now, I want to say this on your show, Lance. Diversity and rainbow are God's ideas, just so everybody knows. We are talking about diversity in fruits and vegetables, and we are talking about the colors of the rainbow that God created for our good health. I have to say that these days,
Yes.
Lance, because it's sad that people have different connotations of those important subjects. So if you look in the Bible at the diversity of the diet that our biblical ancestors, our heroes, consumed, from herbs, spices, fruits, vegetables, mushrooms, those that they grew in the Holy Land and those that were constantly brought in trade from neighboring countries, which was a huge part of the story in agriculture. And combine that with the very fact, Lance, that I believe Adam and Eve subsisted on a diet that was primarily perennial plants, which means you plant it once and it creates hundreds of harvests. Think of a tree, a bush, a shrub, or a vine. This is God's original design for the highest quality fruits and vegetables. But unlike the few other brands that offer similar products, theirs are not organic, which means that the fields are sprayed with chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. They're fertilized with chemicals. Whereas we take these farmlands, the fruits, the vegetables, and we do not use synthetic chemicals. We actually farm the way that God intended, and we've achieved the highest certification ever for a dietary supplement. In fact, regenerative organic certified fruits and vegetables, that's literally been invented with this new product. And what I love about it the most, Lance, is that every day, wherever you are, whoever you are, by consuming the organic super fruits and organic super veggies, 2 capsules of each a day, you are getting all of these fruits and vegetables, the vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients we know about that science has discovered, and best of all of the vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that have yet to be discovered. Think about that. How can we possibly understand God's complexity in food? We never will. So don't second guess it. Consume the actual fruit and vegetable in the best quality soil with the best farming practices, and off 95% of the ingredients in organic super fruits and super veggies are grown on one or both of our farms. That has never happened before.
That's impressive. One thing I do want to jump in, if I may, because it's organic, when you're refining this stuff down, it doesn't have the same concentration of toxic chemicals that are also going to be, in a way, supercharged by them being put into that synthesis. So because it's organic, it's not having all those pesticides in it at a higher rate than some of the competition out there. Is that right?
That is a great question, but best of all, Carl, we don't really purify it down. We essentially are harvesting these regenerative organic crops without the use of chemical pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and soil fertilizers, which are made in a laboratory, and not Edison's laboratory, by the way. And we gently ferment them, which is a way to unlock their nutrients, and then we dry them. It is real food concentrated in a capsule, not a bunch of isolated chemicals that are laboratory grown. And we're hearing all kinds of things about being laboratory grown. And in some instances, there are certain elements that could be laboratory grown that can benefit us. But in the case of foods, you want what's real, you want what's organic. And listen, I don't want to be super scientific about this. Organic is really the way that God intended foods to be grown. This isn't some super scientific, special, invented agricultural process. This is God's plan. This is God's way. And we are just harnessing that. And I love or dislike, depending on which part of the verse you look at, but in Romans 8, it says that creation groans for God's people to help liberate the earth from the degeneration that we've put it in through our sin. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but think about that. Creation groans for man to properly steward over the powerful nutrients, foods, through God's principles he's put into the earth. Because at the end of the day, gentlemen and ladies, we have the same bodies that Adam and Eve had. We have the same environment, potentially, even though we dramatically abused it, that Adam and Eve had. So that same potential to live long and in health is inside of us. When I started researching what happened at the fall of man, why did Methuselah live almost 1,000 years, but David lived 80? or 70 rather. Why did people even a few hundred years ago not have any traces of what we would call cancer or heart disease or diabetes? And one of the big secrets is that we need to consume real, unprocessed whole foods, but we need to understand how to harness that potential. So
George,
is one of
let me
what is.
Let me jump in here and say something, because I want to get to the offer. I want people to know what we're going to be doing, because this is available now. The main thing is you don't have to go to, I'm doing a lot of the powdered drinks, a lot of the collagen drinks, and I'm doing shakes. My whole day yesterday was shakes, by the way, but for your products, just shakes. But you can get a hold of this, and you can go to ancientnutrition.com/Lance. And if you use the code Lance Superfood, you could join me as I'm doing with these products. I'm taking them, and what a difference it's making. Buy 3 bottles, you get 20% off. The key is start taking action. You'll feel different immediately. And to me, the thing with Ancient Nutrition, the thing with my brother Jordan here, is mastery is in the distinctions. They take what is already on the market, stuff that you've seen. They add something, and the moment you add a key element, you catalyze something. For instance, I'm looking at, and it's random here, but I'm looking at what is Bacillus subtilis AB22. These are the things you throw in there, and I'm wondering, what the heck is that? But I know it has a story to tell. What is it?
Well, that is perhaps the world's most important gut or digestive health ingredients. It's a probiotic that's found in fermented foods, Lance, but this particular one we chose out of 1,600 candidates for its ability to help heal the gut lining, help reduce unfriendly bacteria and germs, and help produce mood-enhancing antioxidant compounds in the body. I'm so glad you asked.
Well, all right. So the other question is, what's the thing where you guys helped turn me on to mushrooms? You're the first mushroom guys since I met Annabelle when she was a hippie when we first started dating. What is it with these mushrooms? You got a mushroom in every product. What's the mushroom for this?
Well, it's a great question. Mushrooms are amazing. They are a kingdom unto themselves in biology, the fungi kingdom. They are translators, Lance, of nutrients. So we don't offer mushrooms in the superfruits and super veggies product for the mushroom. We offer it for its ability to take, for example, a mulberry, which is the most fabulous nutrient-dense plant that you've probably never had since the nursery rhyme as a child or grandma's backyard. But what we do is we use this mushroom culture to enhance the benefits of the mulberry through fermentation. So we have our own mushroom army on our farm and our manufacturing facility and laboratory in Missouri. And we have found that mushrooms literally help translate plant nutrition, making it more usable for humans, accentuating the positive and, believe it or not, eliminating the negative. So that is the point of these mushrooms. By the way, they do offer immune supporting compounds, but they are helping these fruits and vegetables become more usable by the human body.
All right, so if one of my, and by the way, you guys got to see the list. I'll have to get this in post. We'll put this up there. I'm going through the ingredients. It is hilarious. The layers of density that you include. You talk about diversity and inclusion. You're giving a lot of inclusion here for a whole lot of categories. But I want you guys to take action on this. Jordan, when they take this, in simple language, someone who has not been properly eating, and they're eating like I'm sorry to say, some of my preacher friends are big on Italian food. I know they're not getting their fruits and veggies. What's the first thing that they're going to feel once they've gotten a couple of weeks of this new dietary addition going on? How will it do something with energy or sleep or what? Is there any tangible correlation between getting this and how you feel?
First thing they're going to feel, Lance, is proud of themselves. And I joke not, because it is so important for us today to feel like we have accomplished something, whether it's diet, exercise, certainly prayer, etc., a Bible reading. So they're going to feel like they did something good for themselves, and you nailed it. They're going to feel a sense of wellness, a sense of energy, and definitely some improvement in digestion. That is what you're doing overall. Most people say you should eat your fruits and vegetables, take these kind of supplements as an insurance policy. I don't know about you, but I don't like insurance. I pay for it every month, and when I need it, I have to argue to get the benefits. The good news here, this gives you the diversity and nutrient density of these fruits and vegetables, some of which, by the way, you've never eaten, even though people around the world have for thousands of years. There's something special about getting these nutrients. And Lance, I don't know if you know this, but if you peel away, unintended, and study a grape or an onion or a mulberry, there are at least 100 beneficial compounds in a fruit or a vegetable that have currently been discovered. I say this without any embellishment. By consuming superfruits and super veggies every day, you might be getting close to 500 compounds that God put in food that man has not been able to synthesize or replicate. That is how powerful God's creation is. This is essentially delivering that.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, take action now. Don't just think about it, do it. This is distinct. This isn't your typical average superfruit supplement. This is a whole regenerative, organic certified process with elements involved in it that synergize to create outcomes nobody else can get. Buy 3 bottles. You need to get, I guess, is it a month supply in each bottle? Get 20% off. Use promo code Lance Superfood at ancientnutrition.com/Lance. And you know what, folks? Here's the interesting thing about Jordan. There's not a product that we have on this program that I don't use. I mean, I use them, which means sometimes I have to juggle them because I'm using them, and then I got to figure out when do I use this instead of that. When's the best time? You start the day with this, Jordan? I mean, is that what you recommend? Is it going to mess up with my metabolism support if I do this in the morning, or how do you do this?
I would say, Lance, whatever is convenient and will lead to compliance. So I do think that taking supplements in the beginning of the day is a great way to do it because you know you've done it. So I think with superfruits and super veggies, you can do it without food. You can do it with meals in the morning, at bedtime. It's not stimulating. It is very grounding and foundational. And it honestly will give you something that no chemical made ingredient can. And it really, again, will supply you with these fruits that you may never have eaten, like noni. We grow noni indoors in Tennessee. It is known as the stinky fruit or cheese fruit, if that gives you an idea, but it has powerful compounds that the Polynesian world, or should I say, Lance, the indigenous Polynesians, they swear by noni as something that's great for the joints, for the immune system, and for the gut. We have soursop. Soursop may be my favorite fruit on the planet. It tastes like a combination of a mango, banana, and pineapple all together, but it's got a lot of seeds.
Ooh.
Grown in Africa, South America, and Polynesia. It is one of the most powerful fruits to support the immune system and promotes the body's ability to fight fungi and yeast, to fight bacteria, etc. These are awesome. And I guarantee, Lance, 99% of your audience has never consumed noni or soursop and certainly doesn't consume them regularly. So that alone is going to give you a boost to your health.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm so sold on it. I'm opening up the bottles while you're talking. I'm getting ready to take it. Folks, I'm taking my super fruits and super veggies right now. I'm not even waiting another minute. I just got the product on my desk. And just out of curiosity, this is a strange question. Why are they all green? Wouldn't the fruit be a different color than so why do they end up green in the final form?
Lance, you got me, because and I'm going to say this now, but another program is going to be needed for more of the revelation. So Lance, when you and a group of select advisors visited our farm, I told you that God revealed to me what was hidden in plain sight in his scriptures, 2 verses, Ezekiel 47:12b and Revelation 22:2 talks about fruits being for food and leaves being for healing. We have made the decision that we're going to take God at his word. And so this product is the embodiment of those 2 scriptures. We do not just use the fruit. We use all of the edible and powerful products of each plant, which includes in some cases the leaves, the vines, and of course the roots and even the fruits. And so that's why you're picking up on that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes when you're obeying the word of God, you do what God says, and science later on catches up and verifies. Now you watch. There'll be evidence coming out eventually. It's not just the fruit, it's the leaf that goes with it, that catalyzes with it, or it's the branch. That's why you need to be doing this product with me. Because I believe this is doing things that you're still, Jordan, when God gives you an insight, he's not even showing you the entire interaction of the product chain. He's just showing you the part you could get. I believe there's more you're going to discover about what you've got, what you're creating here, that even you don't know yet, but that you're working with the formula that God put in the Bible.
I agree with that and receive it. And Lance, I've been consuming these nutrients and these parts of these particular plants since 2019 when God revealed this to me. So it's been amazing. I've only been able to share it with a select few friends and close relationships who needed it. But this is really the first time that the general public has an opportunity to really take part of this revelation.
Jordan, I had a question because we do have some health nuts out there. Like I would put like Annabelle and Lance in this category. They have supplements for their supplements, but there's a lot of people that might be taking other green powders, something kind of similar to where they in their mind might be looking home like, oh, I have something that already does that. Could you talk about why this product, Ancient Nutrition, is superior to what else is out there?
Well, and this is a great question, Mercedes, because you can see TV advertisements about fruit and veggie capsules. Friends of yours might be pushing a certain brand of fruit and veggie capsules, and you look on the label and you see peaches and bananas and pineapple. But what you don't see is certified organic. What you don't see is regenerative organic certified. What you don't see is 95% ancient farms. In those words, if you're consuming a fruit and vegetable product or considering ordering one that is not organic, it is not GMO free, or that is not regenerative, all regenerative means, folks, is that you are growing food the way that God intended, where the environment, the ecosystem, and the soil is getting healthier and healthier. Why is that important? Because the Bible, correctly translated, says we came from the soil of the earth. All the elements of healthy soil are in our bodies. Our physical bodies came from the earth. We are going back to the earth. The word humus, that's not the Mediterranean dip for your pita. Humus means topsoil. Humus is the same word that human was derived from in Latin. We are one with the ground. And if we consume food from degraded, degenerated, fertilized, and destroyed soil, which is really dirt, that is going to be reflective of our health. In the old days, the health of people in a village were directly related to the health of the soil and the plants and animals they consumed. Even though you don't live in Middle Tennessee, perhaps, or Southern Missouri, where our farms are, we're giving you food grown in the best soil. And Lance, something else that's pretty neat, many of these fruits and vegetables in these products came from seeds that I physically planted. Now, thank God they've grown, and we have hundreds of papaya trees that we grow indoors. We have thousands of mulberry bushes that we grow outdoors. So it's far beyond what I could do, but I would describe this, Lance, similar to the scripture that says Isaac planted a field, and in the coming days he reaped a 100-fold harvest. In many ways, these products are a result of the harvest that I planted during the pandemic, because I said, you know what? I'm going to start creating a food supply for people that can bring health to them on a global basis. And so we're able to take what we did, the seeds that we sowed literally in 2020, and bring them to you. So you might be consuming a plant or multiple that came from seeds from a piece of fruit that I got from Thailand or from Miami or from somewhere in the Northeast. And that's what's so exciting. This is real. And as much as I love calling, Lance, your compliment of calling the farm Edison's laboratory, these are much more similar to creation's Garden of Eden than Edison's laboratory, which is awesome.
That's true. Well, it's really the truth of the matter is you're Edison in the Garden of Eden. That's all I could say. You're running around you're observing stuff. I mean, I was there. I fell in love with you and the vision of the company, visiting the farm and seeing the experiments. And then you had your own hand-labeled, it was so great. It's like you were like the Jewish kid doing his own research, hand labels on bottles of things that you were still observing. I said, this isn't a business for this guy. This is a calling. It's a calling. And I want to say something. Your nutrient-dense soil, folks, the richness of they're onto something. And I've spoken to them as an advisor. I said, we should be looking at how we can regenerate soil around the world using the unique properties and approach that these guys have at Ancient Nutrition to create nutrient-dense, pure replicas of the ancient soil that God put on the earth the way it's supposed to be. And let me just say this, and I told Jordan this before the show started. Annabelle wanted to get away on a cruise. We're looking at taking our people on a cruise, our partners and our friends. Annabelle, so I got a free cruise. How can I say no to this, Jordan? And the guy offers Annabelle and me a free cruise because he wants to show us what he can do. I said, I might have my family, friends, and partners come with me on a cruise, Alaskan cruise. And there was conservatives were there, Sebastian Gorka and Mike Gallagher and a couple of Salem broadcasts. I thought, I'll hang out with them. I'll do the cruise. Annabelle takes me to the spa because she has a secret mission for Lance's health recovery. She's going to have me doing mineral baths and seaweed stuff. It's hilarious because she's like you. She's got all these ideas about, how things can work. So I go in with all my supplements to the health guy and show him all the products. Annabelle's got all her products she's taken. And all I did was bring yours, the Metabolism Support Probiotic. I didn't bring the rest of my stuff because I already know what I'm liking. So I brought this. I said, here's what I'm taking. So I bring this with me, and this is one of your products. And he looks at it, and I know he's going to pick apart anything he can pick apart or what's missing. And he starts going, oh, this is interesting. Well, wait a second. Oh, no, did they have? Oh, they do. Who is this again? And then he starts interviewing me about who you are and what you do. He said, actually, that's actually a very good product right there. So he's making a note so he can get a hold of it. Then he goes to devastating everything else we had. That was all these other mishmash of products that Annabelle's bringing. And it was testimony to me that even at the highest level, even your competition looks at what you do and scratches their head and says it's something else. And I say it's the God factor. It's the factor that you begin with God touching your life when you were dealing with cancer, with your natural inquisitiveness about how the world works, and then God putting you like George Washington Carver, with a peanut, or Edison with a laboratory. He's teasing you to say, there's more there, Jordan. If you'll seek me, I'll show it to you. And I think you are discovering things that are going to save lives, strengthen my people, and give them the quality of life that they need. If you haven't taken action yet, take it now. I already took them while I'm sitting here on the program. AncientNutrition.com/Lance. Use Lance Superfood is your code, because when you use that code, you help me to support the program so that I could be able to bring Jordan back to you and stuff like this. All right, I've lost Mercedes. Carl, do you have any final thoughts on this?
Mainly just, I love the product. I love what you have going on. Thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for sharing it with our audience.
My pleasure as always. And Lance, every day in the morning, I pray among what is a growing number of declarations that, like Daniel, God would give me 10 times the wisdom, favor, and understanding of all those that don't know you. And I think that's a great prayer for your entire audience and partners because God can do it. He took essentially a slave or someone who was put in bondage, taken out of his nation, likely made into a eunuch, which we don't want to talk about, but it's reality, in captivity. And despite that, the power of God rested on this young man. And the Bible says that when he was closely examined, he was 10 times greater in wisdom and stature and countenance than all the other young men who were from Babylon that were candidates to be the governors, the satraps, etc. So we have that power available to us that God can give us. And so my hope is that when somebody consumes a product that we have formulated or that particularly came from our farm, that they are getting that benefit transferred to them. And I'm so excited it's making a difference with you, your family, your team, and your audience. It's awesome.
It totally does. And a future show, I'll have Chelsea come out. She showed me before and after. She really turned me on and Annabelle turned me on to your products. And she's been benefiting from the various because there's combinations that people put together that are changing their life. And I even for me, my routines are changing. I start off, instead of with coffee, I start off with hydration. And instead of eating a breakfast, I was told, have a healthy breakfast. The most important meal of the day is the breakfast. And you said, not so much. And so, I drink the liquids and I skipped the breakfast, and I was getting svelter and better until I hit the buffet line on the cruise. Now I'm backslidden. I'm getting back in shape today with you. Thank you, Jordan. We're going to come back again in the future with another update, another breakthrough strategy, another wonderful technology. Thank you for being faithful in the field. And we're going to join you. Everybody, ancientnutrition.com/Lance. Lance's superfood is the key code. Join me on the expedition of health. And thank you again, Dr. Jordan Rubin.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate